Hey everybody, Charlie Stevens here. Thank you so much for tuning in to another guitar lesson. In our last video we learned the basic way to play an F chord, which is one of the most difficult of the cowboy or basic kind of chords that most beginners learn first. This one is called B7. Okay, and this has an open string in it, so it counts as an open chord, and I've heard it said that this is the most difficult open chord to play. I don't really think it's that difficult, but yeah, it sort of is more advanced than maybe some of the other ones we've checked out. But this is a really important chord. It's even more important than regular B. We actually haven't even learned how to play regular B yet, because that would require a bar chord, which we haven't quite talked about yet. So we'll get to regular B in a little while, but B7 is an open chord. And there's a great video with David Greer talking about how he learned chords from his dad, who was a guitar player, and his dad had a limited chord knowledge, and if his dad didn't know the chord, he didn't know the chord, he jokingly says. So if he said, if you wanted B7 he knew, but if you wanted B, well, you were out of luck because his dad didn't know how to play a B. But he said, chances are you didn't need it though, and you needed B7. And that makes sense once we understand how keys work and things like that. When B shows up, it's usually in the key of E, and it's usually as the 5 chord, which can be played as a 7 chord. So don't worry if you didn't understand that. But basically, B7 is a good chord and an important one for bluegrass. It's the second chord in a famous song called The Old Home Place. And all the rest of those chords are pretty simple. It's just this one that is a little bit more exotic than some of the other basic ones. So learning this is going to be good. It's going to help you play a lot of other songs that you might not have been able to play before. Okay, well let's dive right in and I'll show you how to play B7. Okay, so B7 uses the notes B, D sharp, F sharp, and A. Okay, so let me show you how I play all this. We're going to get the B on the 2nd fret of the A string. We're not going to play our 6th string for this chord. We're going to skip that one, go straight to the 2nd fret here. Then we're going to play the 1st fret. It's the note D sharp. Then we're going to play the note A next. Okay, so we have this little triangle. This actually is the exact same shape as D7, just moved over here, moved over to A, D, and G strings. So far, this isn't really anything new. This is our D7 shape, just moved into a different, we would call this a different string set. This is string set of strings 1, 2, and 3. This is string set of 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so far that's what we got. Now we're going to go ahead and play this open B string as well. So that's what makes it an open chord. We get the open B string in there. And now we need to play an F sharp, which is the 5th of the chord, and we're going to use our pinky here on the 2nd fret of the high E string. Not too bad, right? Basically a D7 on different strings, and then we add the pinky, and that's it. That's a B7 chord. Pretty cool, huh? Alright, now since that one's easy, I'm going to show you how to boom chuck it too. So we know from our boom chuck video that wherever the root is, we go one string that way, and we find it. So there's the F sharp right there. That's the 5th. B, C, D, E, F. So the key of B doesn't have an F natural note in it and has an F sharp, but we can still go through our alphabet and get that. I just happened to know that it was an F sharp, and this is actually the only natural note name where you can walk through the alphabet and the 5th will be on a sharp. Every other natural note name, I mean, if you start on a sharp like C sharp or something, you're going to get G sharp, and you're going to get a sharp when you do this. But B is actually the only one that starts as a natural note, and by the time you get to the 5th, it's actually F sharp, not F. So that's just something you have to know. If you don't know that, don't worry too much about it. Hopefully all that stuff will become clear in time, and I'll do some more lessons on theory and explain, help you understand that, okay? But for now, we don't even really need to know that that's an F sharp, because we can say, hey, that's the root, and we know we just have to go down one string and we'll find our 5th. So that's what I was doing in the intro, just kind of bouncing back and forth on these two. Usually likes to go to E, as I mentioned earlier, okay? Not always though. Like in the Old Home Place, it goes up to C. So that's not a hard and fast rule, but the majority of the time you're playing a B7, some sort of E will be next, either E minor or E major, okay? But that's just sort of an aside. Again, we'll do more theory lessons, and I'll help you understand why that's true. But for now, I just wanted to point that out so you could be aware of it. If you see a B7, should be looking out for an E most likely, sometimes a C, sometimes could be something else. So it's not impossible for it to be something else. It's just more likely that it would be an E of some sort, okay? All right, well, pretty short, simple lesson for you today. That's how you play B7. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching today, and if you're enjoying this course, please subscribe to the channel. And I look forward to seeing you in another guitar lesson really soon. Thanks again. Bye.